how did I know that my wife was the one? And so, before I found my wife, you have to realize that I had, tried to find someone to marry for about 7 years. And so I'd been on a lot of dates, a lot of first dates, and on all these dates, I had a lot of fun. It was interesting. We got to know each other. We usually got to eat, and who doesn't like to eat? And so, they were all good. I enjoyed all of them, for me at least. I don't know about the person I took on a date. Hopefully they enjoyed it as well. But with all these dates, just based on the first date, I didn't know if I wanted to marry them or not. I don't think many people do. There are those stories that I just knew, love at first sight type thing. I wasn't really bought into that. So after the first date, when I didn't know, and I'm kind of bad at reading people, so it's hard for me to know if they like the date as well. But if I had any interest in this girl and I thought the girl was good, I would just ask them on another date, and I would just keep asking them as long as I was having fun and they kept saying yes. I'd keep going until either I stopped having fun or they'd tell me no. And that was kind of my filter process. It wasn't very technical in how I figured it out. But my thoughts at that time was, whoever I end up marrying, they're gonna have to like me, and they're gonna have to like being around me. And it was gonna have to be, something that was natural. And so lucky for me, I have a pretty unique personality. So they figured out really quickly if they liked that personality or not. And because of that, these dates didn't have to be a big thing. If I already knew the person, for instance, I would just ask them to go on a walk or, go shopping with me, go run an errand, and just spend time together so we can have fun. It didn't always have to be like a dinner or a movie type thing, because if they really did like me and I liked them, we would have fun doing anything. It wouldn't matter, the exact thing I picked. So after 7 years of this, though, the only sad part is, all these dates, nothing seemed to feel right, or even close to right was the thing. I had fun on all of them again, and I enjoyed them, but I just couldn't see at the end of, however many dates we went on, just didn't seem right, and it was clear that it was not right. So I was about to give up. It was, a long thing trying to do this, and I wanted to get married very young, and so I was trying for so long it didn't work. So about the time I was about to give up, I took this girl named Jessica on a first date. And it was a great first date. Everything about her seemed to be what I was looking for. She's really smart, she's really hardworking, her family seemed good, she was really pretty, and it just seems like all the things that I wanted, she had. And I'd felt that same way on a lot of first dates, actually. You get all the emotion in and you think, oh, this is the one, and a lot of times it didn't pan out. But the unique thing about this one, if I were to, think about it in hindsight, since I'd been on so many other dates before, I didn't know what was different, but something was very different when I took her on the date. Whether it was I felt more comfortable or whether it just seemed easier or more fun, something I knew was really different than any other date I've been on. So we start hanging out and going on dates for about 3 months. Until I finally stopped asking her to do things. And the only reason I did that was I was having a lot of fun, but she didn't seem very interested in a relationship at the time. So, I just left it and I was really sad. And I don't see her for like a year, but she keeps popping back up in my life, and I still really like her. So when I see her again after a year, I gotta take her on another date. So I start taking her on maybe 5, 6 dates, and we have a lot of fun again. But again, she doesn't seem really interested, so we stop, and she doesn't seem to have any objections. And after 6 months then, I just can't get her out of my head. And she keeps popping up into my daily life out of these odd places I see her, and conversations she's popping up. And, after trying stopping and going with her so much, I just told myself, this is too much of a roller coaster. I gotta stop. This is just my emotions, just wanting something to work. And so I make a deal with myself. And I tell myself, if I'm still thinking about her in a month, I'm gonna ask her out, and on that same first date when we go out again, I'm gonna tell her that I like her a lot, and I think we should date, and I think we should find out if we're meant to be together. And one way or the other, this whole thing is gonna end. And that would put my mind at ease. And that same year, after the month, I was still thinking about her, asked her on a date, and that same year, we ended up getting married. And so if I were to look back at how and when did I know, I think it came bit by bit. Now, on the first date, I had a really good idea that she was someone I could marry. But there were things that I still needed to know, I guess. So I of course met her family. We talked about like the vision of her life, how many kids she wants, what type of work lifestyle she wants, financial approaches, which are all good things to make sure it's a safe match. But really the thing that drove it most was I could have fun one time on a first date with somebody, but time is the biggest test. And as I just kept hanging out with her and we spent more and more time incorporating each other into our lives and mixing our lives together, if I could consistently feel the same way through the whole thing, I think that was the thing that sold me the most. We worked well together in everything. It took less effort to be with her, and I could be me. I never had to like fake being someone else. I could be me, and it was easy to be together. And so when the decision came after like 2 months of officially dating, after 2 months we knew. We spent so much time together within those 2 months that it was a no-brainer. And that's kind of how I knew, I guess. It was just a natural path for us. So I guess the first date I kind of knew, but over the course of a month or two, spending so much time together, that was the biggest thing. And so if someone else is looking for someone to marry, wondering if they're the one, I think time is a good thing. You don't need a lot of time, but you just need to make sure you consistently can feel and be the same person. And you, of course, have to check all these other things like their family and finances. But, I think just liking each other over the course of time is the biggest thing.